Good morning. Welcome to Ludum Day 2, at least for me. Technically, it's maybe, yeah, it should be day 2. I think it was launched on Friday at 8. So Saturday at 8 was the switchover. So, yep, I'm going with day 2. Also, it's really early. It's like 6 a.m. here. So, I'm still waking up. But that doesn't mean that we can't start building some stuff. So, that being said, um, I just need to get myself a little organized here because I didn't really think this through. I just sort of threw it up and said, all right, I'm just going to go stream and don't know what the rest of my plan was. So I'm looking at least what on my second display where I'm streaming from and taking a look at what's in here. So where I left off yesterday, let me just refresh this guy. Um, so building out this tool to build text engine games. Well, that's weird. I was just looking at YouTube for a second. It's like so far, like this trail's so far behind Twitch. Anyways, all right. Let's see here. So basically, where we need to go is I have the block stuff should still be working correctly. I have my block editor so that I can make different blocks. So right now we have the room and we have a direction. And then we have adventures. So we're starting with a new adventure here. We can move this guy around. We can add these things. And where we left off was that I need to get this to a place where these are actually being pulled out from the database. So while we're doing this, let me pull down the latest code. Git fetch all. We'll just do this locally. Git pull all. Okay. So what I wanted to see here in the code is if there was a story flow. Trying to see where it's getting this stuff from. Text. Oh wait, I have it set to this. Let me do story flow. I want to see where it's creating this stuff, and basically I want to tell it to stop doing this. So, all right, we have the adventure editor main, then we have this adventure toolbox config, and what I wanted to do is, let's see, right now it is doing these categories, right? And where does the if go? Can I pin this thing or something so it doesn't go away? All right, you stay here. Is there something in here for like variable? All right, let me see where it's passing this guy into, and then we can go from there. So, actually, I want to check out one other thing real quick. I have another screen open. There's a bunch of domain names I've been trying to buy, and I wanted to let me just look it up real quick. I'll let the stream go a little bit so that some people can probably join. Maybe not. I had a couple people the other day, but I had to figure out my streaming stuff and get this organized. I used to have a little bit better handle on this stuff. All right. Okay, that domain isn't going to work, and that's fine. I don't need to worry about this. All right, so back into here. Actually, I want to get a little music going on in the background for me. Okay. All right, so let's look at where this adventure toolbox is getting put into. I want to see where this toolbox is. Adventure XML. I wonder what's using this. Adventure content. On new, adventure content, flex items. Import, interface, export. I'm trying to see if I can figure out where this stupid thing is coming from. On new is void. All right, I think I have this. I think I have what I need right now. In here, what we're going to do is we're going to look for story flow. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell it exactly what I want it to do. And let's see if this will help with getting Lovable to actually work the way we want it to. So I want you to read the block categories and colors from the database and use that to populate the const adventure toolbox config in the, what class was this? View and Explorer. Let me copy this relative path. And let's just see what happens right here. We're going to start in small little pieces, because yesterday I was sort of overloading it, and I need to get a little better with the prompt engineering here. Oh, I am not feeling any of the music this morning. All right, while it does its thing, I'm going to go over to Blue Sky and just announce that I'm continuing my my thing. Let's see. How do I want to do this? Where's my profile? I'm already progress. On up early streaming my LD Jam progress, if you can call it that, on Twitch or on twitch.tv/Jesse Freeman or youtube.com/Jesse Freeman. I'll be doing 3 streams today: morning, afternoon, and night. All right, let's get that out there. I'm replying to my own tweets. I don't know if anyone even sees that on Blue Sky. I still don't really understand Blue Sky fully. All right, so let's go back here and let's look. We now have adventure blocks. Once upon a time, do something. interesting. All right. These are the... All right, I want to get rid of this adventure blocks. There's no settings. If I look in the admin panel, I don't have any. There are only 4 categories. To remove the fake categories. There are only 5 categories in the database right now. Also, stop making up blocks and use the actual blocks from actual public blocks from the blocks table in each category. They are associated to. All right. So these are the main categories. What we're going to do is, let's just call this rooms. Actually, I did have it. I had a... Where did I have my ChatGPT instance? Because I was working with ChatGPT to... Wait, no, stop with the snapping. God. Let's do ChatGPT. We'll open that guy up. And I had a test adventure block types. All right, so while it tries to load this stuff in the database, what we basically have, we have room blocks, item blocks, interaction blocks, decor blocks, navigation blocks, and game logic blocks. So let's just start with some of these. We're going to do, we're going to call these room blocks. We'll just call this rooms. Oh, that's cool. It doesn't refresh, or is this actually saving? All right, we'll have to wire that back up too. Let's start making bug lists. Issues, can't change block categories. Oops, let me spell this right. Cool, no spell check here. Categories. There we go. All right. When editing a category, you category. Oh my God, why am I so bad at this? All right, when editing a category, you can change. I'm so not awake yet. You can change the name in the admin panel editor, but it doesn't actually save back to the database. All right, let's create this, assign it to myself. We're going to make this a bug, and we'll come deal with this one later. Now, I want to see if this actually... Dude, oh wait, that's my own. I was like about to like lose my my patience with this. Dashboard, venture. All right, the I've removed the fake categories and now the real categories from the database. The toolkit now is dynamically building using actual. It hasn't changed anything. Build adventure blocks. Let's see what it did. Use effect categories is loading underscore categories. Generating text blocks with categories. How is it, how on earth does it think that it actually did something here? Enhanced toolbox. Only include public blocks. Public blocks filter. Category. Fetch each block. Block current version. It's weird. It like. All right, here we do this. I gotta start debugging this thing because this is getting just ridiculous. Log categories to help with debugging. All right, so it's already logging the categories. Let's see what categories it thinks it's finding here. Failed to load resource. Let's clear this. And we're going to go to dashboard, clear. We're going to go to adventure, make sure this is cleared. And then we're going to come here. Create interactive workspace, create an interactive workspace. I don't see it executing any of this code. All right, generating it out with real categories. So where the, this is categories 5. Haven't made any changes. Like if I go back into here, let's go here. Let me just pull this code into my editor, and then let me see what I can do with it here. Git fetch. Oh, whoops. It's already too early for this. Okay. What I want to see is, it said it made some changes here. These are the classes that it made changes to. So we're just going to go manually look through Adventure Editor main. So I'm now in the Adventure Editor main. I want to see the blocks, and I don't understand, but these are the always include these standard categories. I want to remove these standard categories because these are bullshit. All right, so now we're back to base, input, logic, output variable. And I believe these were the actual, let's do this. Settings, admin. What I wanted to do is, I need you to fix the category editor in the admin settings, because I can't change the category name, so it's not wired up to the database. Make sure that CRUD works for the category editor. Oh my god, I couldn't spell any of that correctly. I don't care. All right, let it do that thing, and then what I'm going to do here is I want to go through and we're going to make some notes. We don't want this at all. And now I want to see where its current categories are coming from. Category map, use actual blocks from this category. So let's do console log, and I want to see the contents of the categories. Oops. And as if I wasn't running out of enough room here, let's just open up the console. Let me do this. Categories. And then let me clear this, and creating interactive workspace. Where is it calling this thing? Log the adventure XML. If adventure XML, error loading JSON. Oops, here we go. Block 2 found. Public definition. All right, so I figured out what's going on. There's a race condition right now between loading the categories and displaying them, because this took a long time. I don't know why it took that long. But let's go back here. All right, it took this long to get these two categories. So that is the problem. There's a race condition. So let me go back over to Lovable. Let me see if it fixed the admin panel stuff, and then we're going to direct it what it needs to do. Come on. Writing the categories. All right. Writing category form. I don't know what you're doing. Please tell me you're not making up new code. This stuff already exists. I'll implement this changes to make the category editor fully functional CRUD operations. Let's fix the wiring to the database. All right, fine. Maybe I didn't bring over the stuff in the database. I don't know. I feel like this stuff already exists, but we'll take a look at what it adds. And then while we do this, I'm going to just queue up. Oh, wait, here we go. I've implemented full CRUD functionality of the category editor in the admin settings. The key changes are update the block editor settings, enhance category color dialog, use categories, updated use database. All right, so let's see. Base, let's just call this rooms. And if I refresh this, oh my God, it did all this stuff, and none of it actually does anything. Unless I'm missing something here. Blocks, settings, admin, new category, test. Failed to save category. All right, let's see here. Copy. I actually want to revert this because I don't trust any of the changes it made. I'm going to go back to this. You know what? I'm going to pause this. I really want to get the other thing working, and I'm just sort of all over the place right now. Let me just file this. Getting this error when trying to add a new category. All right. All right, let's go back to okay. I need you to make 2 changes to the adventure editor toolbox. First, remove the, what do we call this thing? Interactive block. Just trying to see where I had this. Remove standard categories. Remove the standard categories completely. And fix the race condition where the editor displays the database categories before the ones actually being used are correctly loaded in, where am I? Let me reset all this stuff, change categories, let me clear this, and we're going to go back here, and then open up this. And now let's see how long it takes. I mean, it should, first of all, it shouldn't take this long to load from the database. Great interactive adventure. This is the next thing that I wanted to start testing. This isn't right. Something wasn't being done correctly here. Categories. Oh, there we go. Wow, why did it take so long to load in all those categories? Being used are correctly loaded in the variable. To make things faster, the used categories should be cached when opening the adventure editor page and reused on each adventure, since the categories and blocks will not change a lot in production. All right, let's see if we can get this thing working. So right now what I'm trying to do is I want to fix this editor so we're actually pulling in the right categories from the database. And then once we are pulling in the right categories, then we can actually go and figure out why it's not displaying the blocks correctly. All right. Oh my God, my back is already hurting me, and it's only 6:30. There's a lot of sitting and standing yesterday. All right, I'll fix the issue of the adventure block editor as requested. Now, while it's going and trying to figure out how to fix this stupid editor, I want to go back into the code, and I want to see where the hell it's actually running the code for this block editor. Wait, for the settings, admin, let's see, manage categories. So let's look for where this happens, and I want to see this in the reveal in the Explorer view. All right, so edit admin actions. So let me see, when we open this up, there should be a thing here that says edit category colors. Or actually, yeah, well, we'll look for this title. This is not right. All right, right, edit category colors, create a new category. Fine. And then what happens is when we submit the form, on select color, on input change, on submit, we have this callback for on submit. And what we want to do is look for check if color is unique. If slug exists, slug is already in use, please choose a different one. All right, so this right here appears to be the code for, let me see here, let me find this, reveal in Explorer, copy path, and I'll put this in the bug. Edit. Need to modify the code in this. All right. And now back to, let's see if Lovable has done anything correctly. Fix the issues of the adventure toolbox as requested. Remove the standard categories completely. Fix the race condition, which categories load, and implement the caching. Let's implement the changes. So now we've removed the hard-coded standard categories. Let me reload this. The request module admin categories does not provide an export name for the, all right, so there's a bug here. All this code that it created is just garbage. I shouldn't have let it do this. All right, there we go. It just finally realized that there was an error. Okay. Because now it did source component settings admin. See, here's what it did. It created a whole new, no, here we go, settings admin. Maybe it did put it right in here. All right, whatever. I don't know. Sometimes it's just generating out a little bit of garbage, and I want to figure out how to streamline this a little better. But I guess the only way to do that really is going to be me jumping back and forth between the real source code and not. All right, so there's nothing I can do right now but wait. I'm going to go back over to here, and these are so these are going to be the rooms. We'll have items, define an item, name, description, interaction, blocks, room decor blocks. All right, I do have a general sense now of how I want to implement all this stuff. I'm actually going to copy this stuff out over to the document. Oh, did I not? Drive. Let's go here. All right. I don't think I put down, yeah, I didn't do this here yet. So here are going to be the categories and how each of the rooms are basically defined and all the other stuff. I don't remember this was, oh, I was looking at twine. Proof. Interesting. Yeah, I've not used Vine a lot. Maybe I did in the early days, but hello, this is a test. This is my second test. I'm just kind of curious about the UI for this. And if we play it, yeah, how do you go from one how do you go from one of these to the other? Oops, I don't want to, and also, why can't I rename this stupid thing? I see. Link. Create a hyperlink with this text. Allow the entire page to be clicked. Go to this passage. All right, I see. This is so weird. I feel like they overcomplicate. I feel like this thing used to be a lot simpler. All right, let's see if we've updated this and fixed these problems. So we go to the adventure. We create this database, and we're still getting the same shit. Like, I don't understand. You said you fixed the code, but you didn't do anything. Something's weird. It says it's done all this code change, but I don't see it. Let me log out of here and then accounts, sign out. And let me re-log back in and see if this. No, why? Oh, the flyout panel is completely broken. All right, then if that's not working, let me at least make sure that the admin panel is working. Oh my God, just everything's broken. Cool. All right, I want to do this. I want to go back to where this fully dynamic refactor, use database categories. I'm going to refactor. Refactor only show public blocks in view. All right, let's restore from here. And then I want to go piece by piece through this. I think I want to take a step back. I think to me right now, the most important thing is I want to be able to manage these categories. And once we get the category, the only reason why it's important for me to be able to manage these categories is because I won't know if they're correctly loading in the database, from the database in the editor, unless I'm able to change these names. And then this will start ruling out the issues between, oh dude, I think Lovable is having a moment here. Let's just refresh the whole thing. Even better is that it doesn't even, this one, oh wait, oh I logged in as, I think I logged in as myself. Oh, Jesus. Oh, here we go. Okay, so it was working. It just needed to refresh. All right, logic, variables. Adventure, logic and variables. Logic, variables. This is input and logic. Admin. All right. Let's fix this error. And let's see if we can get the category stuff working. I think we're getting a little bit closer, but I'm not seeing it yet. All right, is this done loading? We'll wait for it to reload. All right, come on. Let's get these admin settings working. Curious to see what other streams are going on for Ludum right now. Doesn't look like a lot of other people are streaming. At least I'm not pulling it up from the tag. I wonder how popular the Ludum still is. Yeah, I'm not seeing a lot of people posting anything that they're doing on. It's like only one person really posting about Ludum on Blue Sky, at least for the LD Jam 57. Let me see, 57. Very few people. I can't tell this is just Blue Sky is so small. All right, the category form is trying to access the React hook from the context wasn't properly available. I fixed this, creating a separate focus, external commit, only display public blocks in the Adventure toolbox. What is this shit? I didn't commit anything. Count. Let me refresh this. I don't want to pull up that commit. And if so, I'll just have to go back and revert it. All right. Settings, admin. Let's close this, open this editor. Rooms. Category rooms updated successfully. Then when I refresh it, and I go back here, why? Let's try to add a new category, rooms. And we'll make this blue. Save. All right. This is the problem. I don't think I actually have write permission to the database. Copy. All right. I am still not able to create new categories. Categories. Oh my god, one day I'll learn how to spell the word categories. I'm still not able to create new categories. And I am seeing a post error. In addition, I can't change the names of the categories either. Oh my god, I still can't spell categories. I should have gotten some more sleep. All right, names of the categories either. Can you check the permissions on the database? To ensure admins are able to modify those tables and the changes and the CRUD changes are saved accordingly. Let me go look. I want to look at the database real quick to see what the hell's going on here. Supabase. Let's go to block adventure. Let's look at our database. And geez, what a hot mess this is. What is this stuff all orphaned here? Profiles, user role, sure. Block def. Why is this all auto layout? There we go. Block versions, block definitions, categories. Let's go to the categories. All right. What is selected here? Oh, there we go. Color, slugs, labels, ID. Okay. I'm still unable to create a new categories, and I'm seeing a post error. In addition, I can't change the names of the categories. Can you check the permissions in the database to ensure admins are able to correctly modify these tables and the CRUD changes from the, what was this class called? Edit categories, the reveal and explorer, copy path, saved accordingly when using the dialog. All right. Let me see if giving it the exact class to modify and this error would be enough to fix it. Trying to create our, this indicates they're likely missing row level security policies for the categories table. Let me check and implement the needed changes to fix the issue. Please review and approve these SQL changes. Yeah, sure, whatever. Yeah, this is my problem. The problem was that when I copied everything over from the, or at least when I copied just the tables over from the other database, tired. It didn't actually move over all the these permissions with these row level security policies. And even though the code may think that it's actually saving, although that's a big problem and that's a code smell right there, it shouldn't tell me that if I make a change to a category name, it tells me it saves it, but it doesn't actually confirm that. This should hopefully fix this error. All right, it looks like it caught this too. And it's saying it's making some changes to provide better feedback. All right, while this goes on, what I want to do is, all right, can you, let's go category by, oh my God, let's go category. Why can't I spell category? What was I putting in? Category. I keep putting an A in there for some reason. Let's go category by category. I have like muscle memory now typing this out incorrectly. Category. Let's go category by category and brainstorm the kinds of blocks that should be created based on the game data file I provided you. Provided you. All right, let's start with rooms. All right, so we need to find a new room with an ID, set the room title, assign a custom title, set a room description, set as a start room, mark it as this room as starting point, mark it as an end room, add a terminal, add item to room, connect room, visited check, add logic for whether the player has been here before. Wow, you really are having some problems with this, huh? Okay, this needs to be more abstracted out based on based on using Blockly. I agree. The room should have a title, description, flag for start or end with some kind of validation. I'm just going to keep telling it to go through and fix its mistakes. Some sort of validation. There are only one of each type. The other things should be their own blocks. All right, let's see what it thinks about this. Settings, admin, edit. What did it do here? Ugh, God, come on. Fix the issue with the category from category list. The issue was fixed with updating the import path for category list from category to correctly point to the location. How can I... Wait, I'm going to do this on my 4K monitor and see if I can at least see... Wait, I can actually just shrink this. Wait, can I? Not the best solution, but let's do test. Slug is test, and we'll save it. And test shows up. We can delete the test. Good. And now if we come into base and we call this rooms, we can save this. Finally. Okay. We'll save this. Actually, I want to make this, we'll make rooms blue. And save it. All right, that looks like it's working. Now the real question, if we go to adventure, I know it's like tiny, super tiny. It's still not pulling in the correct stuff, but we'll work on that later. Okay, so now let's go back over to this. Let me reset the height. Okay. Now I need you to fix the category. Category, Jesse. Modal, so it fits on the screen and is centered right now. It's overflowing, and there should be a fixed scrolling window for the colors, so the input fields are always visible. All right, let me go back to the brainstorming stuff. Okay, so the room block type, room block should be a title, description, room ID, auto and manual, position, start room, end room. All right. You are overcomplicating this. the um, the name title is the ID. We don't need the position. And all right. All right, so our room should have a name, a description, whether it's a start room or an end room, and validation that only one start or end room is allowed. I guess there's no, does Blockly support, does Blockly support Boolean fields? Yes, Blockly supports checkbox fields which map to the, oh wait, what? Oh, wait, I need to make a note that I want to add that. Let's see here, go back here, go back to the category. All right, better. I don't know why it like, hold on, I want to go back a second here. I want to go back to where this modal actually looked correctly. Oh wait, actually I think I have it locally. Let me see if I can get it to now actually clean this up with, I don't want to spend too much time in the weeds on this, but I definitely want this. Dude, what is it doing here? You know what? I wonder if, no, this is using the same code. I need you to clean up the layout for the category modal. Dude. Ah! Come on. Category modal to look like this. Remove the nested borders around the category. Scrolling. And Jesus. And I need you to clean up the layout of the category modal to look like this. Remove the nested, correctly style, I don't care anymore, the input fields, and make it, and revert it to its original layout. Let's give it the layout code. So this is the category modal. I just want to see where the HTML is for it. Category header, run dialog, test. Does this actually do anything? That's weird. Why does this not modify? Wait, let's look for. select scheme. Oh, cool. It logged me out. Sign in. Settings. Admin. Edit. Right. This is the. Whoops. Oh my God. I just folded everything. I wonder if I could just fix it. Whatever. Let me see if I can get it. Let me see if I've never really tested Lovable with actually giving it code. Do I really need the ability to customize these colors? Yeah, I don't need this at all. Let me remove the, let's do slug. I want to see where the slug in this other layout is. Slug. Form label. Form field and form field. Color selector. Right, all right. I don't know, I'm more curious now. All right, I need you to clean up the layout for the category modal. Without breaking any functionality. Actually, it's funny. I think the problem really is actually, I think the problem is there's an input field around this. I need you to clean up the layout for the colors. Color scroll. Oops, scroll area in the category modal without breaking any functionality to look like this. Remove the nested border around the category scrolling and we also don't need this anymore. And make the main color and light color hex non-editable. All right. Then once we get this going, I'll go through, I'll add all the categories that I need. And let's see, yes, Blockly supports checkbox fields. Would it be better to just have a start and end block that can be attached to a room? Yeah, that's cleaner. Use start room block, attaches to room block, end room block. This avoids checkboxes and makes validation easier in the generator. Ready to move on. Should those blocks live in the rooms category? We're already getting it where this is breaking. Update the components to match your design while preserving. Perfect. All right. Okay, great. So now we have all this stuff working. Now I want you to use these categories from the database to populate the adventure editor toolbox slide out and remove any other categories that are not coming from the database. Let me restart this real quick because Lovable is crapping out. Wait, sign up. Sign in. Why is this? Man, how did it crash so bad that it had to like... Oh my god. What is going on? I think Lovable is completely hosed at the moment. Let me try it in a different browser, different tab. Yeah. All right. Cool. Well, with Lovable down, that doesn't make it very easy for me to work on. Doesn't make it very easy to work on my project, does it? Oh, I think it just came back up. Let me refresh it. All right. Come on. Wow, Lovable is just hosed right now. I'm trying a different browser. Oh, shoot. Now I lost the... Alright, something is wrong with this. I'm going to close this tab out. Let me create a new tab, and let's go to Lovable and see if we can log in. Whew. Alright, that was weird. No! What are you doing? I think it's just in this browser. Because... Alright, here's what we're going to do. We're going to just close out everything here. I'm starting to lose my patience with Arc. Let me close Arc and reload Arc. No, I want to create a new tab for Lovable. Let's see if it craps out again. Dude, what is going on here? Fine. We'll just do it in Chrome, I guess. Yeah, I think I've had enough of Arc. It's not it's not a great browser at all. I liked the idea that it was like a little self-contained, but that's sort of where it ends. All right, Arc, you have been retired. I'll just do this in Chrome. I was trying not to do it in my regular Chrome profile. Maybe I'll just make a new profile when I stream, but this is unacceptable. Oh, come on. Oh, I gotta unlock my one password. Nothing is working. Everything is broken right now. Let me copy that to. All right. Short. Oh, we're back to the. Now Chrome doesn't like me yet. JesseFreeman.com. All right, back to the blocks. Are things still working in this? All right. Meditate. This is logic. Let me put this into the rooms. And we'll save this. This should be V4 now. I'm kind of curious. I was messing around. Next input. Input available. All right, I'm gonna have to figure out how to. I know there's a way that I can attach something to this, and I don't know what that is right now. But I'll have to make a new UI for it. Let's go back and what the hell was I doing? Oh, right, I was telling it to load in the right categories. Oh, dude, this whole thing is like broken. Oh wait, I see why. It's just too high. No, stop. You're fine. Okay, you know what? You want to do it this way? Do it this way? All right. So now if I open this up, it should center correctly. Good, thank God. All right, so what were we doing? All right, what I want to do is, all right, we cleaned up the layout for the color scroll area. Fine, fine, fine. I want you to now load. Wait, actually, you know what? Before we do that, let's go through and let's pull out all the categories. And block schedule, room block specs. Where are all the categories? All right, so we have room. Let's do items. Items. Oops, let me change the slug. let's do, I'm going to name this actions. Actions, and we'll, I'm going to make a little notes here. For actions, do in a room. Why does it keep refreshing like this? Items, actions, save, decor, we'll save that. Navigation. Yeah, and let's just change this to navigation. Uh, all right, so we have actions, decor, items, navigation, and room. There was one other thing that had another thing called game logic, conditional action, trigger events, action based on condition, using key, inventory check, verify the presence. Actions. Yeah, we'll make one a new category, and we'll call that category logic. And we'll just make it this green. All right, good. I just wanted to make sure that I can now still do all this stuff. This is good. I have to delete all these. I'll get to that stuff later. All right, so let's see here. Now we have all these categories. I know what the categories are. What I want to do is I want to go into the editor and see that none of these categories are actually loading. So now what we got to do is we got to get this component to load correctly. And what I want to look at here is interactive adventure workspace, tools configured, continue. It says that the tools are category plugin. I was looking at what these objects are. All right. Now I want you to refactor the, now I want you to refactor the adventure tool box slide out to use the actual categories from the database and remove any hard-coded categories that do not exist. To be clear, exist without breaking any functionality. To be clear, I just want to see the real categories in the Blockly editor. I just want to see the real categories in the block editor to validate you are loading them up correctly. All right, let's see if it can take this direction. All right. While I wait for that, I gotta go check my messages real quick. Um, why is this screen blank? Let's reload this and take a look. Maybe I have to go log back in or something. Oh no, there's tons of errors. Cool, let's see what these errors do. All right, try to fix that. let's see, what did it produce here? All right, we click here. We have actions, decor, items, logic, navigation, rooms, and variables. Wait, why does it have variables? Why does it insist on adding this shit that doesn't exist? All right, I want to see why it's doing this, because this is just ridiculous at this point. I want to go to code, weekend code project. Let me log in. We'll go to block adventure, and I'll open up the code editor. I'm just going to close this and do this here. And I'll open up this, and let's do git fetch all git commit. Wait, git pull all. All right. No change to the following will be overwritten video merge. Wait, okay. Git reset hard. Let me just clear out all my changes. Clear, and then let me just pull these changes. And no, I don't want to install my own plugins. Fine. All right, so now what I want to look for is what is creating this variables? Yeah, look at this. Add a variable category which is always needed. No. Variables is never needed. Let me delete this, and then here we'll do code. This is called block adventure. And then I will log in here as me. And adventure, go here. All right, good. It's finally gone. Whew! So bad. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to delete this. And why is the UI so... Oh my God, I can't take it with this. Why is everything always so like, it's like one thing, like I fix one thing and then like 3 other things break. Let me refresh this for a second here. Public trash. That's weird. Why is... All right, whatever. We got this. Okay, now what I wanted to make sure is that all right, whatever's in this actions. What kind of block is this? So add all right, it's a string block. So let's see if we can find a string block. Adventure description prompts. Block. Trying to figure out where the adventure editor main. Yeah, here we go. This is this is such garbage. Why does it do this? Adventure to a dynamic toolbox configuration based on the database categories. Right, but we don't need a kind category. I don't understand what this is. So is this actually needed here? Let me get rid of this content stuff and see if that breaks. Okay. I think this is now working. Let me clear this out. Git status. Branch, fine. Okay. So what we want to do is the Adventure Toolbox config. Dynamic toolbox configuration based on the database categories. But you're pulling out the categories, but you haven't pulled out wait, what the hell is loading categories, adventure ID, title, set, description, adventure label. I'm just going through this code here to make sure that there isn't some other thing that I'm missing. All right, let me do this. Git add all. Moving hard-coded categories and blocks. Git push. All right. Pushing that, and I want to wait for this to, it gave me the external commit. I want to wait for it to actually load this stuff up and see if it pulls this stuff down. Let's restore this. And we'll wait for that to reload. All right, let's see here. So now if I come back here, we have actions, decor. All right, so let me see if I can now get it to, I'll come back and I'll fix this layout stuff. I don't know why this layout is so broken. Also this creating new adventure, like all this stuff is so weird. Deleted adventure, save. I'm curious to see if this actually saves correctly. Public test. Let's save it. And this is a private adventure. Why does it do, wait. All right, this I wanted to fix right away because this is garbage. Copy. There is no reason to constantly refresh the adventure editor when changing text. God, did it like get rid of the title? Oh my God, it's so bad. Like it just screws up my UI all the time. When changing text in the title or description, well, the only time the editor should be refreshed is when it loads a new adventure. Remove these events to optimize this editor. Dude, what'd you do? I'm in the middle of typing and you refresh the whole thing? Oh, God, and then it doesn't like accept the login. Adventure. All right, perfect. Let me submit this and get this going. All right, let's see if it fixed this thing. All right, let's close this up. Let's open this up and... Dude, you're still doing it. I've optimized the editor to prevent unnecessary refreshes when changing text in the title or description. The key changes include memorizing the adventure. These changes will make the editor more responsive when trying to type. So you're still... oh, God, I don't know what's going on with Lovable. I'm already, like, regretting trying to use an AI to build a game this Ludum Dare. It's just not ready yet. I bet you $5 it broke this. Nope, okay. Adventure. Here's what I want to figure out. Let me do this. I'm going to pull this code back down into my editor. Let me see if I can just do a straight pull. I don't know if I need to do a fetch. each time. I think the fetch really is only when there's like a new branch or something. Give me 1 second. I need to just take care of one other little thing in a different tab. All right, let me see how I want to deal with this code now. Okay, so I've now pulled in all the code. Let me come into here, clear this out, and what I want to look at, I'll refresh this to get the latest changes. And what I wanted to do is I want to see why it's doing these events here. Creating interactive space, continuous toolbox configuration and categories. So what's going on here, the bug is that it's every time it types, it's confusing these two editors. This editor for the blocks needs to always update while I type because it is actually updating this in real time. And this way I can get a live block preview. The adventures though don't need to do this at all. And I gotta find what is causing this problem. So the first thing I want to do is I want to search for what is calling this thing interactive adventure workspace. All right, configure the workspace settings that don't interfere with the dragging effect. Interactive workspace. Adventure is working on change. Let's see here. Let's go back now and we will reveal this in the Explorer. And what I want to do is I want to find the adventure description. Where is the title? Description, set description, find adventure editor content, create interactive text adventures, find header. This should be the save button on save on input. All right, set title on change, set title. Whoops. Let me do this real quick. Let's delete this callback. And then when we reload this, all right. Whoa, that is weird. What the hell? I've never seen anything like that. Maybe I don't understand how Vite works or whatever this is using React, but why wouldn't it update? It's fine. So set title on adventure header, set title, save. On change, set value, adventure title. All right, let's go to the other consultant I have here. Let's do this. I'm going to ask ChatGPT. can you help me find why changing the title is triggering a refresh on the editor? Here is my code, and we're going to go to, we'll use O3, whoops, I want O3 mini. This is the, I'll just go back and make it the path to this, copy path. This way it at least knows some context to what the code is. Oh. And then I'm going to give it this. All right. Let's reveal this one and copy it. There's one other area that I know I need to get, which was what was causing that this class here. Reveal in File Explorer, copy path, and we'll feed it the rest of this code and see what happens. So if you're tuning into my Ludum Dare stream, I am trying to debug why my editor for creating text adventures is just firing off all kinds of events. And let's copy this code off. So I have one AI talking to another AI to get some of this right, and then I guess I'm the real lie in the middle of it, trying to make this all work. Let's see here.
It's turned on.
All right, so now here's what I want to do. Let me close out some of these other tabs I have on my other computer. And go back to, where did I put my window? Here we go. Okay, so when you change the title, you update the state via set title in Adventure, which triggers a re-render. Although the workspace is memorized, the parent re-render causes the header on save callback to be recreated. How can I stop this without breaking the ability to without breaking the ability to, how do I stop this without breaking the ability to still edit the title and description? All right, so my goal, at least for this morning, is I got to get this to a place where I can, God, you're so useless too. Use local state in the header for the title description to update the parent only on blur or save. This decouples the fast changing text input from the main editor re-render. Can you walk me through this change? Wait, hold on a second. Okay, but there is no reason to update any state since saving only happens when the save button is clicked. Let's see what it has to say. Store the input locally and only sync to global state. Excuse me. Something just got stuck in my throat. When you actually save on Blur. Okay, walk me through how to make these changes. All right, in your adventure editor component, import and initialize a local state for the title. Replace. All right, this is the adventure editor header. Copy. Why is it giving me these errors? Can't find editor header prop. All right, next. Repeat the same approach for the description in your adventure details. Here is that class. Can I copy this? Next. Well, let's see. Let's go through all of its steps, and then I'll go through and figure out any of these things. Test your changes in the browser. No. Okay, so now I'm getting an error from not being found. Did you give me the complete code? Okay, thank you for not giving me the complete code. Is there anything else that is missing from the details? Oh wait, I don't want. Show me how to modify this to make the same changes. All right, let's copy this and paste it. And now, I believe this will automatically refresh, but let's just refresh it anyways. Let's clear this and look at that. So we're going to call this private adventure updated. No more stupid events when typing. And let's save this. And now, if we come back, let's type this. Let's go here. And cool, it didn't save any of... Oh wait, did it save that? All right, it saved the title. It saved that, but it didn't save the save. Okay, so the description changes work and save back to the database, but the title is not saving back to the database. Do you know what is wrong? or do you need more code? All right, so I'm hoping that once I get past this issue and stop reloading this entire thing, testing, save. Seeing your adventure is saved, but it's not really saved because it just reverts back. But this one was working, right? No more stupid. Let's just make it no more stupid. Save and go here and come here. Well, no more stupid is working. Double check that your parents' on save callback uses the updated title state. It may be using a state value of. All right, let's go look for where set title is. So this adventure header, use adventure data. I think it's this component. Reveal in File Explorer. Wait, no. Adventure description. Wait, what the hell was it? Adventure header. Oh, I pulled up the wrong thing. All right, adventure editor header. Isn't this what I changed originally? All right. So where is the other set title? Editor main. Here we go. Do you see any issue? Do you see what would need to be fixed in this adventure editor main? All right, let's see if we can at least find that one problem. But I think this is what I'm getting at now, because Lovable just doesn't do the right thing. So I do like using this at least for the broad strokes, which is what I keep talking about. And I think this is where the AI stuff sort of is helpful, because I don't want to deal with all the database stuff and all that, but the code it generates is just pure garbage most of the time. And then I have to wind up going back and cleaning up. But since a lot of this stuff is a little bit over my head, because I don't do a lot of this back end work and I'm a little rusty on the front end stuff, I'm still using another AI to help me muddle through it. So change your on save callback to accept the updated title value. So let's see. Where is this? And paste this. And then update the button. Button on click. Let me see where there's a set title button. Wait, where's this button? Then update your header to call on save with the local title. I see. Local title. Local title? Wait. Nope, I'm confused. Header details. Okay. Adventure editor header. Let me just have it redo the code for me. Can you update this code with the changes? All right. All right, is this updated now? Let's see. All right, we'll save this. The real question is, why am I getting this error? here. All right. Why am I seeing this error? All right. Update the prop types for on-save and adventure so that an adventure editor header. Wait. Update the prop type for on-save and adventure editor header props. Adventure editor. Is there even a file like that? I don't think this exists. That file doesn't exist. Don't make shit up. Work with the code I've given you or ask to see more. Let's see where it can go from here. So, all right, while this is trying to figure out itself, I want to go back in and I want to look at this. There's some work that I need to do here for and how to make this room. What I want to do is I want to add a connection here. And this way I can be able to plug in whether it's a start or a end room. And then we got to get these directions connected up. And then what I want to do is get it to where this input field will become a drop down. And I want it to be a drop down of all the other rooms. Let's see if this has a fix. Update the headers prop type and on click that's open, for example. But what adventure editor header. All right, let's go back to our code. Adventure editor header. Let's copy this. All right. And this looks like it's working now. It's saved. Let's come back here. Let's refresh. We'll clear this. And we're going to call this updated. I'm going to call this no more stupid updates. All right, we'll save it. The adventure has been saved. Let's come here and now go back here and it's updated. Great. So there's one other thing that I want to figure out now while I'm in here, since I guess I'm just going to manually, well, when I say manually, I guess I'm just going to manually feed this into ChatGPT so I can figure out some of these errors. What I want to do is adventure, interactive adventure. All right, that worked. Did you see where it's forcing the Blockly editor to update after a save? It shouldn't force a refresh of the editor when saving. It's, all the data should already be there. Refresh is likely caused by a state change like title or toolbox props triggering a re-render in the parent, which in turn remounts the block data. You can prevent this by memorizing static props like the toolbox and ensuring that only essential changes update the editor. All right, right, let's feed it some code. First off, before we do anything else, let's do git add all, git commit m, and we're going to call this removed event triggers when editing title of adventure. All right, we have that change. Now let's do this. I want to close all these out, and we're going to feed it a couple more classes. So let's see if, let's copy this path. And this, and let's see if it sees the code in there. Whoops. Give me, oh my God, let's go to the top of, why wouldn't it go to the top of this input field? Do you see the code in either of these classes? All right, but at least this way what we'll do is I'll be able to, I don't want to like waste my time on this much more, but at least I'm able to optimize this editor for right now and then stop having Lovable break everything. The refresh happens because the save, update, and adventure state, even if its content hasn't changed, which triggers the use effect. One solution is to avoid updating adventure XML when nothing has actually changed, or adjusting XML change check to use a more robust, deep comparison. There really isn't a reason at all for it to update. The only time the editor needs to refresh is when it's first loaded. Do you see a way of fixing that in the code I just shared, or do we need to look at other classes, other files? All right. In your interactive adventure workspace component, the XML update use effect fires because adventure XML is reassigned, even if the content hasn't really changed. One fix is to prevent the adventure state from updating on save when nothing's changed. For example, before setting the adventure in your logic, compare the new XML with the current values, or only this way, but nothing should have changed. Is this reloading from the database after a change is saved? Where's my backpack? Yes, it looks like saving is triggering a refetch or update in the adventure XML from the database, even if the content hasn't changed. This update causes the use effect. Okay, how do we fix this? You'll need to prevent an update when the XML hasn't changed. For instance, in your data, hook, or save logic. All right. Do you see where that is, or do you need to see more of the code? Come on, find the problem. You can do it. Excuse me. It appears the XML state is being updated from your data hook or save logic, which triggers the... If nothing has actually changed, I suspect the refetch or update in your use data is a setting. Could you share that part of the code? Let's see if we could find this use data. Have I shared? All right, let's see this one. Copy relative path. Here is more of the code. And then where was the other place that this was being used? Use adventure data. And let's copy this path. And this. All right, find the issue. I don't, so much of this database stuff I don't understand. But at least now I feel like I'm doing something more. You can fix this by updating your data hook so it only sets the XML in the set adventure. Wait, but where this? Where, what file are you talking about? In your data hook in the use adventure data. How about this? All right. Can you update and clean up this code without breaking any functionality? Let's see if it'll do this at least. And then, well, it's funny. This is actually a lot faster than Lovable, so I'll just keep playing around with this for right now. Find me the thingies. Okay, there we go. All right, I saved it, and now let's come back here. Let's refresh. Let's clear this. And now we'll add a 2. We'll hit save. The tell is, yeah, it's still doing it. Copy. I am still seeing these logs and the editor flickers indicating it's reloading again when hitting save. So your change didn't work. What other options should we explore? Try memorizing your toolbox configuration so it doesn't change anything. For example, update the adventure editor main like this. Adventure editor main. All right. Can you update and optimize this without taking any functionality? All right, let's see if it'll go back and at least do this. And we'll just piece through this little by little. Unfortunately, I'm like now stuck on building fixing my tooling versus actually I haven't even started building the game yet. But I have a feeling this Ludum Dare I'm not going to really make anything. I think there's another. Isn't there like another LD Jam? I feel like there's another category for Ludum Dare event rules. Themes is revealed. This Jam of the compo. I feel like there was something else, non-video. Source code explained. Special exemptions. Bug fixes you can't submit ownership, judging, prizes, using the theme required. Post DL games. You're encouraged to take your game above and beyond it. Our job is to encourage you to make the game, but that's up to you. If the current showcase, we'll Steam and showcase more post LD games available. I feel like there was blank sheet of paper. All right, I know that I thought there was some other thing that Mike had added to this that allows you to just, if you didn't have enough time over the weekend, just work on it for the rest of the week and submit it, but that's fine. Let's update this. We'll see how far we get. I'm not going to kill myself over it. Copy. I'm still seeing this. These logs. Could something else be triggering the refresh of the editor after saving? All right, I'm going to take a quick break and just have a little bit of a snack since I haven't eaten breakfast yet, and then I will be back in a minute. All right, back from a snack. Let's see. Wants me to put Adventure Editor main. Adventure. All right, let's save this. I'm just putting a V2 in here because I want to make sure that this actually does something. Oh, well, I'm not seeing the change. Let me actually, let me log out for a second. Account, sign out. Ow, my foot's killing me today. All right, it is using the V2 thing. If I create a new project, still doing it. Right. All right, we'll give this one more second to figure out its thing, and then I'm moving on. Recreation is coming from the toolbox builder, even though we're memorizing the page. The toolbox builder or the category data changes references every time. Even this memorize the toolbox. Memorize. Update the build combined toolbox function or create a wrapper hook so that it returns the same reference. Wait a minute. I don't want to have the editor change at all. It needs to be decoupled from save updates. Saving is not a hard refresh event. So nothing should re-trigger the editor, and there is no need to refresh the categories, compare them, etc. Help me remove any logic that is triggering this change. All right. All right, let's see here. One approach is to decouple the editor's XML from parent updates entirely. In other words, once the Blockly workstation should ignore changes in the parents of it. For example, if you're all right. Below is the updated code for the interactive adventure workspace. So let's go back here. We can get rid of this. Interactive adventure workspace. decouple the save, refresh. Let's do this. Let's come here. Let's refresh this. Do 2, save. All right. Copy. Looks like the flicker is gone, but why am I still getting these logs? All right, let's go find the source of these logs real quick. Continuous toolbox. This is enough for us to search. Toolbox configured. All right, this is the Blockly Toolbox Builder. Oh, you know what? Let me make sure it didn't break my other editor. Hold on, settings, account, sign out. Let's go here and do main, blocks, public here. All right, this is still working. Fine, that one I'm okay with it doing all this garbage. Let me go here, the adventure, clear, close this. Let's get rid of this too. We'll save. Oh, it's still flickered. Look at you. Why the hell did you do that? All right, this is reveal and explore view. Copy relative path. All right. I thought it was working, but I am still getting error logs. Here are the logs, and here is the file which triggers them. I want to fix the problem here without breaking a different editor that needs to trigger all the refreshes. Walk me through some solutions. This is the Blockly Toolbox Builder. And what I want to see before I even go and do this is I want to see, this is the combined toolbox. What, rename, what actually imports this file? Oh, the only one is, although I think, oh wait, I think the only one that's using it is this. Although, after a quick search, this is the only file using it. All right, let's see how this works. One solution is to cache the toolbox results so that the configuration change, you return the same object. That way, even if build combined toolbox is called repeatedly, it won't trigger a refresh of the workspace. For example, you could add a simple cache in the file like this. Show me the full code. Toolbox. Wait, what class was this again? Build combined toolbox. Oh, did I just lose? What did I call the name of this file? Toolbox Builder. Right, this is the Cache Toolbox Build Combined Toolbox. All right, let's copy this. Let's paste it, and now let's come back here, refresh, and see if this makes any difference. Perfect. That finally fixed the problem. Let me go back over to this one now. Create. All right, so now I want to find this thing and see what is triggering that. Okay, that appears to have fixed it. Why am I still seeing this log? This is in the interactive revealing this. I want to copy this relative path and pass it back in. Let's see what it has to say for itself. All right, I think I finally made enough progress, excuse me, to start moving forward in this editor. The next thing I wanted to do is I needed to start pulling out the actual blocks and not just making shit up like it's been doing. But at least now, when we save things and type, it's not like creating all new references and instances of this stupid editor. Save. Okay. All right, the log is still printing because the initialization effect depends on the adventure XML. That dependency is causing the effect to rerun or at least be reevaluated when adventure, even if you're not reloading. To decouple save updates from creating a new workspace, remove the adventure and dependency arrays. That where is this file? All right, let's save this, refresh, and see if that fixes the last issue that I have here. 2. No, it doesn't seem to have fixed anything. All right, that didn't fix it. When I save the title, when I save after a title change, I get 2 calls to this. Let's see. The fact that you see this log twice suggests that the interactive adventure workshop is being unmounted and remounted rather than split. One approach is to wrap the component with React memos so it isn't. Because I'm change your export to. All right. Let's see if this is the full code for this. All right. Let me see if this will did that, but I'm getting this error. Below is the full updated code. Note that I've replaced the incorrect import path with the one you originally used. Fine. Wait, is it done creating the file before I copy it? Nope. All right. That is saved. Let's go back here now. Let's clear this and let's refresh this whole thing. We'll go back to adventures. We'll close it. And now if we click here, it loads everything up. Great. Now we add A2. We hit save and same shit. I am still getting this when I save the new title, and I get double when I save the description change. Copy. All right. All right, looks like the workspace is being unmounted and remounted rather than just re-rendering. Decouple the initial ensure. Okay, but I'm doing this for hours. Even though we haven't been doing this for hours, but we've been doing this for hours. I want a real fix. Although we did make some progress. I'm going to give this another couple minutes, and then if I can't make any progress on this, I'm going to go and figure out what we need to do next. All right, below is one approach that decouples later Adventure XML updates from the workspace initialization. Later change. This won't cause reinitialization. Also, we've removed the Adventure XML from the effect dependency array so that only initialized value is used. Where does this go? What is this file? This is the interactive workspace. Interactive workspace. Okay. Come on, come on, come on. Are you done rendering your code? Great. Let's go here, paste, and I think this is going to be my last attempt at this one. I want to move on to the actual stuff I should be doing. Load. Let's close this. Let's delete this. Hit save, and same shit. Nothing has changed. What is going on? Same issue. Are you actually trying to fix this problem or just waste my time? Let's see how it thinks through this one. It's reasoning. This is just a waste of a prompt. It's just going to come back and say, of course, it's trying to help me, and it's not going to give me a real solution. The user wants the real solution to figure this out. You need to carefully review the logs and determine the cause. The behavior you're seeing indicates that even with our previous changes, that the parent state updates are causing the interact. You know what? Let's do this. Let's take a step back and let me look at the XML. What was it? The XML? Adventure XML. And I want to go back through and figure out what is actually giving me this adventure XML. Update the adventure editor main. Adventure editor main. No, I was in a different one. Adventure editor main. Capture the initial step. All right, wait, hold on, here. Let me have it do this. Can you update the full code here? And are there any changes that need to happen to the to this path? Let's see, copy relative path to this. All right, let's see what it has to say for itself. Below is one complete solution that freezes XML for the workspace. This is Adventure Editor Main. Adventure Editor Main. Adventure Editor Main. And let me see. It said Adventure Workspace, no change required. The initial XML decoupled. The Adventure XML, the stable toolbox. The toolbox, no change needed for the Adventure. This setup should prevent the workspace from being reinitialized. Okay. I don't think it's being reinitialized anymore. I think it's just calling that log. But let's refresh this. Let's clear this. Let's go back here to here. We'll go to here. It initializes it. Perfect. We're going to save it with a 2. And it still does it anyways. Let's figure out why. Copy relative path. Seeing that log. Is the log just firing without really doing anything? I have a feeling that I'm just like chasing my tail here. The log is printed inside the initial effect, so if you're seeing it repeatedly, it means the component is being remounted or removed. check the parent remounting. Debug the workspace instance. So what is mounting the interactive workspace props? Interactive adventure workspace is what the problem is. Adventure workspace. Interactive workspace. All right, here we go. Reveal and explore. Copy relative path. This is the class doing changing, or at least using that class. Any fixes here? And all right, this is my last attempt at this and I'm moving on. What's really more important at this point is that I'm still not loading any of these blocks directly from the database. And while it's annoying to have the editor continually like update and reset itself whenever I make any changes, what I really need is a way to do, I should start building a game. I should probably start building a game, right? I do want to see, all right, this is still working, so this one has not been broken. Let's see here. Below is one approach. Wrap the adventure workspace component in React memo to ensure that React space. All right, last change. Be the change. Be the one I need. Close. Well, that screwed up everything, huh? What? Wrap the adventure workspace. Oh my god, I hate this window snapping. Now it just throws lots of errors. You can figure out my spelling from here, I don't really care. All right, let it figure out its thing here. All right, it reasoned for 54 seconds and didn't do anything? You didn't respond. All right, this one fix doesn't fix it, I'm moving on, which I think I've been saying for like 3 times now, but the user is frustrated and expects the updated code with changes, but the errors are still happening. Logs are still printing. Components on a function. This suggests the issue in memo. All right. All right, adventure editor main. All right, I need to keep track of these two changes because I want to revert this. Adventure editor main. Dude, I guess I copied it too soon. All right, copy this. Then it wants changes in the interactive adventure workspace. Interactive adventure workspace. All right, and is that everything? And then in the adventure workspace, all right, let's see. Be the fix I need. Go here, we'll change this to. All right, whatever, it's not working, I don't care anymore. Moving on my life. Save. You know what I want to actually test is, let's see, where's Superbase? I actually want to test if every one of these changes I'm doing is creating new versions of these adventures. Okay, at least, yeah. All right, at least it's creating new versions, so that's helpful. All right, I think I've gone as far as I can in this right now. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a bug, and let's see, where is block adventure issues? Need to stop editor refresh on title description change. After several changes to the adventure editor, I'm still seeing this. Link to chat. How do I link to this chat? Share. All right, come on. Copy. All right, at least I'll save this chat and I'll come back to this later. Science to me, and this is a bug. And let's create. Okay, so now that I've fixed as much as I can on my own, let's do this. Let's do clear using my own with an asterisk. Let's see. I want to get add all, git push. Whoops, no wait, no, cancel that. Git status. Git commit m applying fixes to limit editor refresh on change. All right, let's push those two changes out. And let's go back over to Lovable. I'm going to move this over here. And this should now restore from this. And let's see what else we can do here. Fun morning. All right, I think I can still salvage this day, maybe. Let's get this to, we're going to get this to restore, and then I'm going to tell it now that I need it to add the public. I mean, I said this to it a dozen times, and it still just doesn't want to listen to me. But cool, it's taking its sweet time today, huh? Is it gonna ever load? It's funny. I like refreshed the page. Oh, no, oh shoot! It actually loaded, and then I just refreshed it again. All right, let's log in. Oh, it's doing this thing again where it won't take my autofill. Let's go to adventure, update. I'm just kind of curious if I clear this and we, oh my God, what is it doing this for? Look, it's doing this all over again after I fixed all this code. I don't think this is actually the right loaded version. Yeah, there we go. I had to shift reload it. So annoying. It definitely caches a lot, which is problematic. All right, so we save this. It'll still do the update, whatever, that's fine. Okay. All right. I need you to, I want to confirm that you are able to correctly read all the public blocks from the database when getting the categories for the when getting the categories for the adventure editor. Log them and their JSON. Oh my God, JSON to the console first. All right, let's do this and we'll see if this works. All right. While I wait for this to do, I have to take a look at a different message, and then I will come back. So I'm just going to be breathing heavily. Um, hmm. All right, here we go. I've added detailed logging to verify the blocks and categories being loaded from the database. The Adventure Editor includes enhanced updates, improved. All right. I don't believe you until I see it. So let's reload this editor, clear this. Oops. Of course, I need to log back in. Ugh. All right, it looks like it's getting these blocks. Let me load toolbox category 4. What I need to look at next is I want to make sure that it's, not actually just going out and just redoing it. Now add those blocks to the adventure editor under their respective categories. All right. All right, let's see now if it will feed all these things into the editor, and then we can finally start making some progress on building out the blocks I need to build out the text adventure game. Come on, you can do it. I'll fix you by updating the toolbox creation in the adventure editor to correctly include the blocks from the database under their respective categories. I don't even know what keeps calling. I really wish I knew what this plugin was. It's trying to call Facebook. Is this a plugin or something I have? I think it's the React tools. It's got to be the React tools. Actually, I wonder if the React tools even work on this. This page is using a production build of React. Open the developers and components, profile tabs will appear. All right. Cool. As soon as I open up that, it gives me an error. Invalid block definition. All right, I want to try to actually fix this on my own. Asterisk again. Git pull all. Because I don't actually trust what is going on here. And what I want to do is, let's go to here. We'll refresh this. We'll go into adventure. We'll come here. And what I wanted to do is I want to find, let's do a couple of things real quick. First off, I'm getting this error. And what I need to do is I need to backtrack now, and I need to find, let's go here. Wait, what is this? Oh yeah, that's some sort of Chrome error. Adventure editor, block by group and category. Name room. Block. I'm so baffled as to why this thing. All right, let's do this. Block room. Okay, I see what it is. Block room. Block direction. Value tools, fields. It's pulling in all the right stuff. So what we need to do is we need to figure out where this is actually calling from. So let's look for where we say block. We want this to be the full word and use adventure blocks. All right. Log each block's configuration for deeper inspection, and code block. I don't know what this is doing. Block code generator. All right. Let's see. Use adventure Blockly. I'm getting this error. Oh wait, you know what? I'm so sorry. I want to do a new. We'll just do this. I want to start a new chat because sometimes ChatGPT just gets like all like confused when we keep talking in the same context for too long. Here is the code in my blank class, and let's do this. Reveal in Finder or Explorer, and let's copy relative path. Are you able to see the cause of this, or should we look at other, if we should look at other code file? All right, I'm going to do that. Let me open up this real quick here. I want to rename this, and I'm just going to, whoops. Emoji. I'm just going to put an X here. And let's start a new chat. I'm getting this error when trying to view custom blocks from the database. I can see the logs. I can see they are traced to the console correctly, but something is broken when registering them or accessing them in the Blockly editor. All right, let's see what ChatGPT has to say about this. The error means that the block type room isn't registered with Blockly before it's used. Your hook logs the data but doesn't actually register the custom block from the database. You need to look through public blocks and register each one. Let's do this real quick. I want to double check that there isn't anything that's already trying to register these blocks. Block registration utility. Okay. What about this class? All right, this file is good. It registers individual Blockly, but you're not calling register blocks anywhere in your add adventure Blockly hook. Next step, loop through the public blocks and use effects. I want to step to that now. All right, I do want to step to that, but what I want to do is I want to see if this utility is actually being used anywhere. Use block registration. And then what calls use block registration? Before we do that, there is this other class that was referenced. Is there anything in here that's let me go and copy, open, reveal in Explorer. Let me copy its path so that now Now we're just preloading ChatGPT with all the classes and files it needs to actually do some stuff. Sorry, I'm trying to do something off to the side here. All right, I'll come back and deal with this later. Yes, use block wraps to handle the cleanup. You can use the register preview blocks function in your use adventure blockly hook to register each. Yes, give me the full code for each file that needs to be updated. All right. Let's see. What did it want me to do? So use adventure blockly. Let's copy this. Use adventure blockly. We'll paste this in. And now let's come here. We'll clear all this errors and go back to our adventure. We'll open this up. We're going to clear this out. And room, still giving me this error. All right, let me repaste this in. Copy. I am still seeing the same error. Should we look elsewhere, or is this not actually reading and parsing the data in a way that the Blockly helpers can use? Yes, the error shows that Blockly still does not recognize the Blockly type, meaning it was never registered correctly. Next step, let's inspect the extract block properties and validate probably. One of them is probably returning null. So let's go and find preview. Okay, so we have this file. You wanted to see the extract block. That was the extract. You want to see the validate registered data. Preview data utilities. Was that what this class was? Preview data utilities. All right. Let's see what it thinks about this class. Found it. The extract block properties expects a preview current versions, but use adventure blockly. But in you pass the preview data config block, so current version is missing. Fix the change in this line. Where do you have this line? In use adventure blockly. Oh, I see. We change it to this. Constant preview. Ensures the block type gets passed in. All right, let me just double check before I test this out. So the code should look like this. Yes, that's exactly right. It ensures that the extract block properties gets current version and shape. Okay, now let's go back here and refresh this, clear this out. Dude, like really? Same shit, different day, huh? Dashboard, adventures, public block. Let me log out of here. Force sign out. Adventure. Clear. Click. Clear. Room. Copy. I've made the change and still getting the same error. Is the block being read correctly from the DB? There is a base block definition, and then it should use that to retrieve the latest version that has all the properties. It's hard to tell where this is breaking down. If you're not waiting for registration to complete before loading or showing the flyout, the block type is being used, but your registration is using a different block type. Maybe the slug instead of the ID. Instead, log all block types registered, and also log the toolbox XML or category definitions using. Yes, let's do that. Register block preview. Wait, where's this going? Oh god, it's bedtime, huh? What is going on here? Wait. I want this copy, and I want to paste it. Whoa, what is going on here today? I see what's going on. My keyboard's changed layers. It's like, why the hell wasn't it pasting that there? All right, let's see if there's anything else that it wants me to add here. That looks good, but move it after the register block preview. What? Wait, I'm not following. Not following. Show me the full. All right. Here's the full updated use adventure blockly with the adjusted logs and checks. Copy. All right. Now let's come back here. Let's refresh and click on rooms. Whatever, I'm just going to give it everything that I see here. Copy. Oops, I don't want deep research. Here are all the console logs. Let's see if I can read through all that and figure out something. The original block types using the full UIDs, but the toolbox is referencing shorted aliases like room. This mismatch is why Blockly says room is invalid. It was never registered. Make sure the block type used during registration matches what's in the toolbox. So in use adventure Blockly, we are registering this. This is such a subtle change. And and it's no wonder that like Lovable just keeps breaking on this. Yeah, look at that type. That was it right there. This type and that type. All right, good. All right, let's see. Come on. I feel positive about that. Yeah! Finally, after a full day, I can add a room to the editor. And then it disappears. Ah! What the... What just happened? Oh my god. There's some... I bet you there's some sort of update here. That once... Okay. Alright. That fixed it. But there is a new issue when I add the block to the editor. Wait, let me see if actions is there. Where's blocks? Public. Direction, metadata. This is an action. Okay. Let's stay focused on why I don't see actions now. All right. But when that fixes it, but there's a new issue. I can see the room block and add it to the stage, or to the editor, but I am not seeing the other public block I created in the actions category. Whatever, we'll just leave that. I'll never learn how to spell category, apparently. Keep forgetting to put an E in there. Got it. The room block shows up, so registering toolbox working. The missing action block likely means it didn't pass validation. It's not grouped correctly when building the block. Next step, add a log inside your toolbox builder where it adds toolbox builder. Where was the toolbox builder? Toolbox builder. Blockly toolbox builder. Copy relative path. Oops. This file. Um, all right, cool. Cool. Like, stop talking to me like you're a human or something. This file is doing the right thing. Add this log inside the before the wait. Where do you see? Wait, where? What? How about this? You update this and remove the other logs we no longer need so we can focus on fixing this problem. Here's the updated file with only the essential logs and a new detailed debug log for each block being processed. All right, here's the updated file with only the essential copy. And do the same for this. I'm just going to have it strip out now the stuff. All right, let's see here. Copy. And all right, let's see right here if this actually made a difference. Clear this. All right, it's done all this stuff. Now I want to, rooms are fine. And the actions is still causing a problem. Copy. All right, still getting an error when I open the actions category. Thanks for the logs. Is added to toolbox. Found category true. Register preview block returns a null value, so it thinks it succeeded, but you still get invalid. That means likely issue. Register preview block only returns block type even if it's missing property. Next step, let's force register block definition to validate and throw if something is missing. Go to register block definition in the block registration utility. Block register utility. And add this check at the top of the init function. Like this. Yes, exactly. The validation line will now stop silent failures. Now reload the page and the actions and let's check for it. Okay, so we'll come back here. We're going to clear this. We're going to reload. I don't think it made any difference. All right, yeah, it made a difference. It confirmed that Blockly thinks that the directions was registered, but the definition is still invalid internally. Next step, dump the actual block definition right before calling this. Update this part in the register block definition. Register block. Wait, where the hell is this? Dump the actual block definition right before. This is in what file now? All right. Round 2. 100, I should probably say. All right, let's see now. Oh, the log we need is final is in the output. That means that the console final diff log didn't run. So this JSON was never called. This confirms your fields array is empty and the block is being registered without any visual input, which causes Blockly to treat it as invalid when rendering. Let's confirm that. Add this just above this joint. Just above the console log has field lengths. And then here, and if field length dot equals to temporarily add a dummy one. Wait, hold on a second. Okay, I think I understand the problem. Does Blockly expect a field for each block? The answer to the problem, do Blockly expect a field for each block? This is what the JSON looks like for the direction block if there is an issue. And can you update this full code with the fix? All right, let's feed it what the actual block looks like. Public direction JSON. Let me make sure I haven't broken anything in this. All right, and I think I'm going to do this and take a little break for an hour and refresh my brain because I'm not making as much progress as I'd like. Yes, Blockly does expect something visible, usually a message 0 and matching argument 0. If your field includes type input value, you must handle them, or the block will crash when rendering. Here is the updated version of register the block. All right, at least we're finally getting down to what the problem is. Whoops. Wait, where? Oh, wait. Yeah. It's telling me that what is it? Where does it want? Yes, Blockly does express something visible, usually a message. The register block definition. All right, let's see. I'm hoping that this works. My computer seems to be locking up for some reason. I think something is like logging in the background and it's breaking things. Adventure? Wait. What is going on my computer? Right. Something is different now. You changed the shape of the block in my block editor, and I am still getting errors. Didn't that input side like that before? You know what? Something is wrong here because ironically, I think I just stumbled onto something that I wanted it to do. So there are two issues going on that need to be addressed. But what, let's start with why these now have an input option. Because I don't have, I'm feeding a bunch of an option because I didn't implement that yet in my editor. Also, the block editor is able to render these blocks. Should we look at that code too? All right. Cool. Something crashed, I guess, when my computer was locking up and it stopped streaming to Twitch. But that's fine. I think I'm gonna take a break. I'm not getting very far here. So let me do this. I will be back this afternoon, maybe around 12, and we'll do the afternoon stream and see if I can make any progress then. So thanks everyone for watching, and I'll be back later this afternoon.